G'day guys, I was given these two magazines recently from a relative, and first one is their publication from 1952, The Motor, and the person must be a relative because, and must have been where I get my artistry from too, drawing on people's faces and that, which is a bit of a shame because it's sort of, what would you say, buggered up the front of the magazine, but nevertheless, the rest of it is still intact and unscathed. And then the second magazine, it was this one here, The History of Commodore, from VB to VR. But I thought, no, we won't look at that one. We'll delve straight into the Motor magazine from 1952. This magazine's got quite a few adverts, as you can see, mainly English ones, and mentions a lot of towns and things around England and London, different car places there. And what's this one here? Easy steps to renew your car upholstery. So it's got a bit of a diagram there on what to do with how to clean and preserve or keep your upholstery with this leather lacquer. Wow, never knew such things existed. And then this one here, the new sensation car wax sweeps the country. In 20 minutes, the bright, tough wax polish of all. Positively no rubbing. Interesting. In my experience, polishing a car in 20 minutes really doesn't cut it. If you want to do a proper job, you've got to spend a good day almost, not just an hour or two or 20 minutes. But nevertheless, it was all about saving people time and, trying to keep their cars looking pretty clean and good. And then another advert here for a Javelin, the 1.5 litre. One day it has to be yours. And it's just got a rear shot there of the car, and it's got what's he got, and then it goes on to tell you, he gave you a lift last week, now you can remember what kind of car it was. Probably not. If he had been a Javelin, you would have noticed. So yeah, they were trying to impress you with saying that if somebody gave you a lift in any other car but a Javelin, you wouldn't have noticed it. But if you got into a Javelin, you would have definitely noticed and wanted one. And then we've got a bit of an advert here for Carmark Limited. High-grade used cars with 6 months warranty. And it's got a list of cars that were available at the time. And of course their price ranges, and in some cases, oh yeah, they've got miles there, how many miles the car has done. So definitely a used car yard. And of course it's listing all the different names that you don't hear about much these days. There's a Triumph and a Vauxhall and a Sunbeam Talbot, Standard, Vanguard, Rover 75, the Riley, yeah, the Jaguar, the Humber, Daimler. Yeah, definitely a lot of makes back then. MG TC 2-seater, £675. And more cars, used cars wanted, it says. And there's some of the addresses that you could go and or have a look at some of these cars too around the London area by the looks of it. So obviously in this magazine they did once a month they did a road test on a car, and this was road test number 5 in 52 or 1952, and it just happens to be the Austin A40 Somerset. Austin Motor Company Limited, Longbridge, Birmingham. And they go into, well, they show a lot of the scales and drawings there of all the dimensions of the car. I mean, they've really gone into a big way, haven't they? I mean, they've got even the size of the windows, and they've got just about every measurement known to man. The widths between the rear door handles. What else have they got? Oh, the seat, even the heights of the seats from the floor, and how much room the front and how much room's in the rear. It says it's not to scale, of course, but you can work it out from the measurements. I mean, how cool's that? And then it's got the test conditions and the data that they got out of it there, and how many miles per gallon they got out of this Austin. I think they were a popular car here too at one stage in Australia. I seem to recall people talking about it, and of course here's some nice little black and white photos of the said car. And the successor to Europe's most popular car offers the unusual combination of performance, comfort and economy. And the improved appearance, it says. And then it goes into all the seating arrangements and all the little bits and pieces with the car. Everything's there. Despite a moderate price, the car has 4 doors with leather covered seats and an upholstery, neat facade panel and operational extras, a heater and a radio set. So I think we'll have a look at this photo, and if my camera will focus, I think you can just see the radio set underneath. And of course, a lot of the English cars I seem to recall, not that I was around in 52, but the ones that I've seen in more recent times, have all got the big clock face speedometer, which was put for some reason in the middle of the dashboard, so not only the driver could see, but all the passengers too could see how fast you were going. And then we've got showing the boot space with the spare tyre of the car, and tells you a little bit more information about it. I mean, if anybody was interested in Austin A40s, this would probably be very, very interesting to them. I'm finding it mildly interesting, because I do like quite a lot of the old English cars, that's for sure. And there's the little motor. So does it say the engine, including battery and carburetor, and reasonably accessible despite the somewhat small bonnet opening? So as you can see, it's almost, what would you say, almost like a not even horseshoe shape. It's like a rounded off triangle, but you can see the where the battery is, and you could still get access to the motor. So that's what they were saying, despite the front being a little bit small, once you open the hood, you could still get plenty of access to do things to the motor, or around the engine bay, I should say. And then we move on to a Bentley for town and country. I seem to remember, I think there was a Valiant, was it a Valiant, what was it now? I think it was a Valiant Utility, a Chrysler Valiant Utility called Town and Country. Sort of rings a bell for some reason, but yeah, so they had town and country too. And then of course we moved down to a very nice picture of the Bentley, the silent sports car. Wow, what a beast, eh? What a beast. And then we move on to another advert for the Austin A40, and what's it say? Worldwide and handsome. So yeah, I think they were, as I said, I think they were reasonably popular in Australia, and probably lots of other countries that they were exporting to. So that's why they were saying they were worldwide and handsome. You'll like everything about the new Austin A40 Somerset. Austin, you can depend on it. Gee, they certainly had some great ads back in the day, didn't they? Very, very much so. And then the rest of the magazines seems to be all adverts and different things like that. So there's not a great deal of interest in it. There was, like I said, a couple of articles in there, and then they've got here sale and distributors for MG and Bristol. So yeah, and like I said, it's mainly because it's an English publication. It's showing more. It's more geared towards the English market, but obviously they did bring these magazines out here too, with a lot of English cars being popular at the time, and a few Australians would have been going around in them, so they probably found them very, very interesting. And here's a very interesting in the centre, well, what would you say, the centrefold, and not the type of centrefold you're probably thinking of. It's got the sketchbook at Geneva. So these were all the different designs, by the look of it, that they were working on or had there. So there's a Bentley, the tailgate there, or tail lights there. Coupe, Ferrari, So yeah, I don't know whether a lot of these went into production or whether they were just, like ideas, and they pinched bits of ideas of these and did make them into production cars later on. But I think it's just so cool. Mercedes and that. So this is obviously the signature of the artist in '52, and the types of designs he was working on. So this one here is the Simca fuel filler, and it looks like it's near or incorporated somewhere near the rear tail light. But yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting. If you're into old classic cars and things like that, I'm sure that you'd find that very, very interesting to look at. Okay, well, I think that's about all. As I said, there's lots of pages in it, but mainly to do with just adverts and things like that, and some of them are not that great really, because they're just writing and words, and there's not a lot of pictures in it. But I do like this picture of the Morris Minor, and by the look of it, it could be even a split window by the look of it. But anyway, I trust you've enjoyed having a look at this motor magazine from 1952 with me. And if you liked, please leave a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one with maybe something a bit more interesting. Cheers, guys.